Hey guys, Josh Findlay here. I'm here with Mitch Taylor today from Trillium West Realty. We thought we'd make a video real quick just explaining the real estate market, what's happening in the market, and a little bit of history about Mitch and what he does. Hey Mitch,
How you doing, Josh? Thanks for having me on.
no problem at all. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just in my backyard mobile office. Laptop doesn't want to cooperate this morning, so I thought I'd get some fresh air, open up the phone, get some better signal out here. And if you hear any birds chirping or my neighbor mowing the lawn, I do apologize.
It's no problem at all. Perfect. Mitch, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm primarily located out of Kitchener Waterloo area. I currently own a detached property in Forest Hill of Kitchener. I live here with my beautiful fiance, Laura. And my main focus is on the investment side of the real estate market. So in the last 4.5 years, I worked with a brokerage that was specifically focused in the condo market. So my main role there was to help landlord and investor clients with their rental properties, acquiring further rental properties, mainly condominium units. And a big portion of that was also helping investor and landlord clients in the new construction world as well. So getting access to brand new projects, helping to buy, sell, rent within those projects, and just also, I guess a secondary measure would just be the portfolio management as well. You know, making sure that the rents are topped up, making sure we get quality tenants in those units. And right now with Trillium West, I'm still focused on the condo market, but also am helping investors and landlords in more of the multifamily and single family as well, in addition to the condo market. So yeah, Kitchener Waterloo mainly, and I'd say my secondary market would be Guelph as well.
Perfect. Yeah, it's interesting. I also deal with investors who are looking at multi-unit residential, and it almost seems as though this specific time period hasn't really phased a lot of these investors. A lot of them are still they're still going towards a game plan. They're still trying to find financing solutions. They're still trying to purchase these properties. Are you finding the same thing in the area?
Oh, absolutely. I would say this situation has actually sped up a lot of the investors that may have been more on the fence, or trying to figure out if multifamily was the right way, or maybe to buy 2 or 3 different single family homes or condos. So actually, I think with investors, right? Investors love to see a potential a recession or something that would signify that a lot of people are going to be taken out of the market, right? So with everything going on, there's been so much intervention by the government in the real estate market that has essentially stabilized our markets in Kitchener, Waterloo, and Guelph. Like, we're not seeing prices go down, we're seeing prices stabilize. Obviously, we're seeing volumes from new listings and sales go down. But when investors see that prices are remaining stable, but the competition is arguably getting filtered out of the market, that fires up a lot more investors into the market. So I actually am working with more investor clients on the multifamily right now than I was before this COVID-19 pandemic. So it's definitely investor time, I would say, right now. They're stepping up. They're getting their financing in place. We've got really amazing interest rates and offerings from a lot of different lenders. So the multifamily investors that are ready to go, they're getting their ducks in a row, and they're getting ready to acquire some properties.
For sure. And I'm finding that a lot of these investors, maybe they weren't as diversified in their multifamily residential as maybe they should have been. And a lot of them are realizing now, because of the liquidity crunch, that cash flow is really king, and that these properties provide cash flow. Obviously, there are certain situations where landlords have to be flexible, especially in this time, because maybe some people can't pay rent and stuff. But the majority of these investments are strictly cash flow, and they're helping a lot of these investors kind of stay afloat in these times.
Yeah, you got it. That it makes complete sense. And yeah, in these times, right? If you have a single family, detached home, not even a duplex or triplex on that property, but let's just say you have one tenant or one family in that home, or let's just even say you have a condo unit. If your tenant stops paying rent, that investment has completely shut down from a cash flow perspective, right? So that's where the value of multifamily can really kick in. So even if you have, let's say, a sixplex somewhere in downtown Kitchener, and a couple of your tenants stop paying rent, well, you still have 4 units that are going to be cash flowing out of that 6, right? You're not going to be completely wiped out from a cash flow perspective. So it's really interesting because, yeah, I would say some investors that have been mainly focused on single family acquisitions are now more seriously consider multifamily. And I think you can do, you're the expert on this, Josh, but I think you can do a residential mortgage on a multifamily up to a certain amount of doors. So it's just mainly, I would say some strategies now being deployed are single family investors maybe joining up with another partner so they can increase their purchase price and acquire assets that provide more flexibility from a cash flow perspective.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, anything under 4 doors, you're able to purchase under a residential mortgage. Anything above that is a commercial mortgage. But having multiple people and going into projects with partners definitely allows you to get more bang for your buck and allows you to kind of build that empire a little bit faster.
You got it. That's right. And it's pretty interesting as well. In Kitchener, we're going through a zoning change with a lot of different plots in urban and suburban Kitchener. So I would say once this state of emergency gets cleared and more people are able to go shopping, I think we're going to see the multifamily market really pick up.
Yeah, it's exciting. So obviously we're dealing with unprecedented times where we've never really seen anything like this. But past trends in the spring and summer market, we were expecting a really strong spring market, and before all this happened, it was absolute pandemonium. It was unlike anything we've seen. It was a really strong pre-spring market. I think obviously no one's purchasing, or a lot of people kind of put things on hold currently. But as soon as things get back to normal, what do you see future trends?
Yeah, it's a great question, and based on the numbers that me and my team keep breaking down every week, it looks like we're going to go back to those pre-COVID-19 activity numbers. And what I'm trying to figure out is more so when that burst of traffic is going to come in. As soon as the state of emergency gets lifted, are we going to see the market uptick dramatically at that point, or are we going to kind of see? I guess I should say, are we going to see that line go straight up, or are we going to see more of a curve in terms of the increase in activity? But I mean, it's a perfect storm right now. So you've got really amazing interest rates, lowest that we've seen, that I've seen it in a very long time, right? We've got a lot of money being poured into the real estate market. A lot of banks have a greater ability to lend, and also too, it's there was a big fear at the beginning of the year that people were going to miss out again on another year of prices going up. They were going to miss out on moving or acquiring a property that they really needed to get into because of their moving to the area or whatnot. So the new factor is right now is I think we're going to see a lot of people starting to move just based on lifestyle as well. So we've all been cooped up for a month and a half with our significant others, or like me, I'm with my fiance and my 3 cats. That was perfect for me. I didn't have any problem with that at all, so I'm not moving. But I mean, just chatting with friends and family and other clients, I think we're going to see a lot of moves just based on lifestyle change. So people maybe in a detached home, and they go, you know what, I actually don't need this massive house. I don't need to live here. There's a lot of maintenance with detached homes, and I think maybe I want to downsize, right? Maybe I want to put some money in the bank, downsize, sell that place, and maybe get a condo that's 3/4 of the size. Then you have people on the flip side that go, oh my goodness, I've been living with my family in this 1,000-square-foot condo. Absolutely not. I am not doing that again. So we are going to upsize, So in addition to people actually needing to move out of necessity, we're going to see people needing to move just based on a lifestyle change and maybe a reevaluation of finances. Maybe, yeah, it makes sense to downsize, put some money in the bank, save some money on a monthly basis. But then on the flip side, yeah, maybe it makes sense to upsize. So I think honestly, every sector of the real estate market is going to be quite active once we get quote unquote back to normal. And we're already starting to see the numbers support that as well. The detached market is starting to see the biggest increase in activity from a sales and new listings perspective. And it's just going to, a townhouse and condo and multifamily markets are going to follow suit as well. We're going to see that existing demand that's been put on hold reignite, in addition to the people that are moving based on lifestyle.
Yeah, all great points. I definitely think that that this is going to cause some people restructuring as well. Maybe as you said, maybe they're in their home and this home is too much, and they finally realize that after spending 2 months in their home that it is too much and that the mortgage payments are too much, and maybe adding a little bit more to that rainy day fund that our grandparents and great grandparents told us about, but we've never had to actually tap into. Maybe this is going to
Exactly.
bring to light a little bit of restructuring of finances. And yeah, in regards to, and I know a lot of different brokerages have kind of changed some of the processes in regards to how they're conducting business still. I know open houses have changed, appraisals have changed on our end. The lenders have changed their underwriting parameters to allow certain changes in the appraisal process. But on your end, how has your brokerage kind of pivoted your business to still be able to help your clients in the best way possible?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I mean, there's been a lot of different practices being undertaken by brokerages in Guelph and Kitchener Waterloo. There's been some brokerages that have completely shut down any physical presences in the houses. So there's a couple of brokerages, yeah, in Guelph where they're not even allowing people to come in for photos, for showings, or virtual tours, virtual open houses, nothing. So there's brokerages like that. And then there's brokerages that have really not changed anything. They just are letting things go the way they go based on their client preferences, and they're not really enforcing anything. So Trillium West, we've put in a blend of, obviously, we have to best represent our clients' interests, right? So if our client really needs to sell or absolutely really needs to buy, obviously we have to respect that. We have to guide and recommend accordingly. It's hard for us to put any firm guidelines in place because we have to obviously represent the interests of our clients with blending in the situation at hand. So our broker team has put in diligent measures in terms of screening protocol, other virtual tours, open houses that can be done with the marketing team that we use at Visual Advantage. So we're trying to do as much that we can virtual. So virtual tours, virtual open houses, virtual showings, a lot more client engagement using Zoom, like what we're using now, or Google Hangouts or Microsoft Teams, and just I would say right now, our brokerage specifically and myself, I'm not really focused on the business side of real estate, even though we're considered an essential service. I'm more so working on the help and resource side. So a lot of people are, I'd say at the start we're hitting the panic button. We went through the August 1st, am I going to get paid rent, kind of situation. So right now I'm just focused on helping my clients, reaching out, making sure that they're doing okay. If they need somebody to chat with, emotional, mental support, some raw coaching that we're going to get through this, I'm here. And then also just being a resource center, right? So if a client has any, questions, concerns, or comments about, hey, Mitch, my tenant says they can't pay rent, at the middle of the month, what do I do? I'm just picking up the phone, answering those calls and helping as best as I can. And, if one of my clients absolutely needs to do business, or they want to start investigating a purchase or a sale, obviously I'll help out, but just trying to do my part and, see if we can, I guess what the saying is, flatten the curve or something like that, right? So, and also Trillium West has a phenomenal community outreach program called twloves.com, where obviously we've got over 100 agents that are sitting around. A lot of us are kind of itching for something to do. So if somebody in the community is in desperate need of help, even just from retrieving groceries to trying to supply masks and gloves for the elderly or whatnot, 100 of us are on call, ready to help at any moment.
That's awesome. Yeah, acting as guiding lights in a time of darkness for a lot of people. That's awesome to hear.
Absolutely. We got it. Us realtors, we're all predispositioned to, I think, ADHD. So we got to be doing something.
Got to be moving at all times.
You got it.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It's been great chatting. If obviously moving forward, looking forward to the housing market getting back to the way it was, and we can chat again soon.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Josh. Thanks for having me on.
Take care.